All right, we've got another vintage Stratocaster in the shop. This one is from mid to late 1965. Fender Strat, and while it might look kind of turquoise color, this is actually Lake Placid Blue. You can see that Lake Placid Blue ends up kind of aging a little bit differently for each one, depending on how much clear coat and many different factors. But I can show you more on that in just a minute. It's got some really great other features as well. Still got the small headstock until December 65 next, typically is when the big headstock comes in. It also has factory wide frets, which we start seeing kind of August, September, I believe, 1965. Kind of becomes an option. It's common enough, it's not very rare, but you can still get small frets after that. So just seems to be kind of sparingly where you see these wide frets. A lot of players like a little more meat to grab onto on a fret, so you definitely got that here right from the factory. So that's kind of nice. But probably the coolest feature that this specific serial number has is the crazy flame neck. I mean, look at that. That's probably as much figure as you might want on on a vintage guitar. You know, on these modern custom shops and stuff, you can get some crazy, crazy flame figure. Fender was not likely to be selecting necks based on figure like we would today. You know, at least for the blank pieces that were made into necks. Although I do think that when they had a special guitar, like a custom color or something, they may have grabbed like the figured ones that were already roughed out. You know, because I do see, when you see a lot of figure, which is very rare on, you know, 50s and 60s Strats, you do seem to see it, at least in the kind of mid-60s, on like custom colors or, you know, special features and stuff. So there's nothing much special about this guitar except that it's custom color, Lake Placid Blue. No other special features. In fact, it's got the standard neck width, 1 5/8". And the neck profile was pretty cool. It's kind of, it's a little bit fatter, but tapers from kind of medium to fat. So medium being about 84/100ths of an inch down here at the first fret, tapering up to a full inch at the 12th. So my friend Riggs was playing it earlier, and he was kind of remarking on how kind of fat it feels, which is nice. It's a nice feeling neck, dead straight, you know, good frets, a nice playing example. So here's a picture of the neck heel, and it's cool because this code here, you know, initially might look like you've got like a day and a month and a year, but you can see that first digit 2 is actually the model code for Stratocaster. Starting in 1962, and then by late 65, early 66, the kind of post-CBS era, they changed that model code to 13. So 2, you know, that's still kind of mid-65, so that stands for Stratocaster. OCT, October 6/5, 1965, and then B is the standard neck width, so 1 5/8 up here at the nut. Here's another picture underneath the pickguard, which I think is really cool. You can see how much the Lake Placid Blue has ambered as it's exposed to like sunlight and oxygen. But this clear coat was a little more amber, even though the parts that aren't exposed, than some of the other Lake Placid Blue guitars I had. Like I had a Lake Placid Blue 65 Strat from like 2 months earlier that was a lot more blue than this example, even underneath the pickguard. So it's kind of funny. It must have been kind of how thick is the clear coat, maybe a slightly different formulation of the clear coat. You know, we're not 100% sure these days, but they all seem to age kind of a little bit differently. I've even got a Lake Placid Blue Jaguar in the shop over here that you can see is very blue. See if we can walk over and compare. These are both the same color. They've just kind of ambered, and you know, one's a little more exposed to sunlight. This one probably got played a lot more than that 66 Jaguar, which is still very blue. Yeah, it weighs in at about 8.2 pounds, so a little bit heavier for a 65 Strat, but still a nice comfortable weight. A great player, 100% original, except for the nut here. When it came in, it had like a replacement nut on there already that I just didn't like the look of, so we had a nice handmade bone nut to kind of match what would have been originally on there, and a nice job there by my friend Jason. And yeah, I mean, we just kind of cleaned it up, leveled the frets a bit, put a nut on, and it's ready to go. So called in my friend Riggs to play it for us, show us how it sounds. So that's the 1965 Fender Stratocaster. That's my friend Riggs playing that. There's a link to his YouTube channel below if you want to check that out. My name is John. My shop's called True Vintage Guitar. I'm here in Birmingham, Alabama. We only do high-end vintage guitars, primarily electrics with a few acoustics mixed in there. If this 65 Strat in Lake Placid Blue is still available, then there's going to be a link down below in the description for you to check out. And then there's another link there to all the different inventory if you want to see some other vintage guitars. We'd love to have you subscribe if you like watching videos on vintage guitars. We're doing about 2 a week. Thanks for watching.